The term deep state evokes images of clandestine meetings, shadowy figures, and a hidden network pulling the strings of power. It suggests a parallel government operating outside the bounds of democratic institutions and public scrutiny. This entrenched network comprises intelligence agencies, military branches, and other powerful groups. Proponents argue these entities prioritize their own agendas, often resorting to covert operations and manipulation to maintain control. Skeptics dismiss the deep state as a paranoid fantasy, lacking concrete evidence. Despite skepticism, the deep state concept persists, fueled by historical events, suspicious incidents, and a general distrust of authority. Throughout history, numerous political incidents have sparked speculation about the deep state's involvement. One such incident is the Watergate scandal, which led to the resignation of President Richard Nixon in 1974. The break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters and the subsequent cover-up exposed the potential for government agencies to engage in illegal activities. Another example is the Iran-Contra affair during the Reagan administration in the 1980s, involving covert arms sales to Iran and funding anti-communist rebels in Nicaragua. More recently, the alleged Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. presidential election has reignited discussions about covert operations and foreign influence. These incidents raise questions about the limits of power, the potential for abuse by government agencies, and the existence of hidden agendas. Whether or not one subscribes to the deep state theory, these events serve as stark reminders that the pursuit of power can corrupt, and vigilance is essential in safeguarding democratic values. Beyond political scandals, suspicious deaths and accidents have fueled speculation about the deep state's reach. One case is the death of journalist Danny Casolaro in 1991 while investigating alleged government corruption. Casolaro's death, officially ruled a suicide, remains controversial, with many believing he was murdered to silence him. Another example is the death of Dr. David Kelly, a British weapons expert who died in 2003 after being outed as the source of a BBC report questioning the Blair government's justification for the Iraq War. Kelly's death, officially ruled a suicide, sparked controversy, with many suspecting foul play. The plane crash that killed Polish President Lech Kaczynski and 95 others in 2010 is another incident that has fueled deep state theories. These deaths and accidents, while lacking definitive proof of deep state involvement, involve individuals who possessed information or held positions that could potentially threaten powerful interests. The circumstances surrounding their deaths, often shrouded in secrecy and inconsistencies, fuel suspicion and lend credence to the notion that powerful forces operate outside the law to eliminate threats and protect their agendas. The concept of the deep state is not confined to the United States. Similar theories exist globally, reflecting cultural nuances and historical experiences. In Turkey, the Derin Devlet refers to a network of military officers, intelligence officials, and organized crime figures believed to be responsible for numerous coups and human rights abuses. In Italy, the Gladio Network, a clandestine stay-behind paramilitary organization established during the Cold War, has been accused of manipulating Italian politics for decades. In Pakistan, the establishment is a term used to describe a powerful network comprising military officials, intelligence agencies, and bureaucratic elites. These examples illustrate the global reach of deep state theories, reflecting a widespread distrust of authority and a belief that true power resides in the shadows. While specifics vary, the underlying theme remains: a belief that unelected, unaccountable forces shape national destinies through covert means. The question of whether the deep state is a myth or reality remains a subject of intense debate. Skeptics argue the theory oversimplifies complex political realities and lacks concrete evidence. They point to the absence of a centralized structure and the difficulty in coordinating covert operations across vast networks. However, proponents counter that the lack of evidence is precisely what makes it so effective. They argue a truly powerful network would operate with utmost secrecy, leaving few traces of its activities. The debate ultimately boils down to a fundamental question: who holds true power in our world? Elected officials or a shadowy network of unelected individuals? The answer, like the deep state itself, remains elusive, but the very existence of this debate speaks volumes about the level of trust people have in those who govern them.